And having how you live here. Like I know you guys I did it. But my computer's not.
I've already seen Mario like 8 times in the last
Mirror
week.
image, so it's just
All right, for the boys, go ahead and close those computers. We don't need those for the first 4 minutes of this class. We don't need them. And we'll never use them again until 4 minutes, 8 seconds. What is that?
I'm backing it up.
We'll get to ubiquitous, what you do with the summer thing out of the way. Crystal, okay. How was your summer? What'd you do? All right, that's fair. Sahil, what'd you do? What you bought in India and England? Is that? Did anybody else hear that too?
No.
This kid's rich. What'd you say? Where'd you go in England? You went to York? What's in York? As if the rest of England's like they just like constructed. No, really, what's in York? Why York?
It's like just
Tourism? Okay. Wow, cool. Has anybody been to the UK? Has anybody been outside of London? Just yeah, that's exactly yeah. I think about it too much. It's like this has to, like in terms of math, it's like the country which has the lowest non-capital tourism. Does that make sense? No one ever leaves London. I know where York is. How far was it?
it took about 3 hours. Like,
You flew to York. Oh, okay, something going on there. I'm gonna stop asking. Fan's got some shady stuff going on. Okay. What'd you do, Tom? Okay. Awesome. We're gonna start this again right there. Okay. Cool. Did you go to Seoul? Did you stay Guangzhou the whole time?
yeah, kind of.
Kind of. Did you go to some kind of York or something?
Somewhere in China.
Some Chinese equivalents to York. Philippe, where'd you not go this summer? Wait, hold on. Face looks all right, so no recent trauma. How'd that go this summer?
It's cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what, you had the train and a skateboard?
Yeah.
Is that it? Any other modes of transportation? Maybe a plane? And boats? So where'd you go?
Prague, Berlin, Sweden, Copenhagen, Barcelona. Yeah.
Wow. You just bypass France altogether? Boring, huh?
Yeah.
France. I guess you made some friends. Mon ami, what'd you do? Where'd you go in Spain? Lovely. Shamisha, how was that deal over the summer? Was it? All right. You don't have to learn anything. You don't have to start with. I learned that.
Realized that a lot of the stuff that we were like having like pre-college stuff was like IB stuff.
So true. Sucking up on day one. Shamisha's already awesome.
Yeah, that felt like it felt good to like know what we were talking about.
Where was that? In Pennsylvania? Where was it?
Yeah, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Cool. Lots of people or a small group? What was that like?
75 kids and out of 75, 60 or 65 were from the US and then
Wow.
the rest were international.
Cool. Did anybody even think that you were not from?
No, like my like language agreement letter where it says it says my name and it says India/China.
Okay.
So then everyone's just
Yeah,
like,
from day one,
oh
they're
my
like, what does that
God.
mean, right?
Yeah, randomly, they didn't know anything.
I didn't even know India was in China. You mean Indiana, China? Well, they're, all right. How are the American kids? Just kids?
Yeah. No, they were like, I know about like mostly, but I got supposed to wear like from the US, they were really nice,
Yeah.
but mostly everyone was just really confused about the whole like, you go to Guangzhou, like where's Guangzhou, is an American school there, and I'm Indian, I don't have like an Indian accent, and like how,
Yep.
you're just so confused by how everything works.
Yeah, they did. What?
But then like.
It's ignorant, is what it is. You just don't know about it, so you don't. It's the good ignorance, I guess. That's cool. How was the schools? All right, facilities were.
Yeah, that was.
It's a nice campus.
I had no idea, I didn't know that.
Ugh.
But it was really good, and, yeah.
Oh my God! Look at you. I recognize you. Haircut right there. I mean, think of my 7 Korean words. What kind of? I don't even know what to say with that. My 7-word vocabulary does not extend to new haircuts. Learn. What'd you do this summer? Besides get a new look. All right, I'll come back to you. Think about it. Makeup? Yeah. Pretty much the whole time, or
Yeah, that's fine.
feet? Ontario?
I went to Palm Springs, Chicago, Montreal, and Toronto.
So you visited your sister?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good.
You've been already though, right?
Not by myself. I went by myself.
Cool. Nice. Marty-san, you went to the States, right?
Yeah,
How was that?
it was really fun.
Was it really fun?
Yeah, I didn't go with my mom.
I won't mention that. She said she had a great time because you weren't there essentially.
She knows.
I'm sure she already knows. Did you meet some nice people? How long was that?
Like a month.
Did you see much of your brother?
For like 2 weeks, but I wasn't, like, we were in the same place, but we weren't together.
Yeah. Okay. Mark, what'd you do?
I was in California for the first half and then Europe for the first half, or the second half.
Sorry, it's not math. Where'd you go in Europe?
I went to Amsterdam, Brussels, Prague, and then Denmark. But I didn't.
You didn't cross paths. Did anybody cross paths in Europe this summer?
Yeah.
Didn't cross paths. Out of all that, what was your favorite? Can you pick a favorite?
I think Brussels, because I was there for Belgium National Day. That was really cool.
Oh, sweet. Did the Sepulchre White City? Did you think about that? Did you go back and scour your notes from Heart of Darkness? And shame on you, Belgians. No wonder it's beautiful. Did you do that? All right, you should. So, what'd you do?
I went to Korea, Macau, Hong Kong.
How long were you in Korea?
Sorry?
How long were you in Korea?
10 days.
Yeah,
Not
I
that long.
thought you mentioned it wasn't going to be enough.
Yeah.
How was it in the summer? Was it pretty warm or?
When I went, it was really rainy and cold, which was surprising, but apparently now it's really hot. So.
Yeah. Didn't work too much, did you? Good. Hawaiian, can you drive yet?
Not.
That's awesome. Not legally. Okay. I'm all right with that. So you working for Uber or? It's a big thing now. All right, cool. So you in Malaysia most of the summer or? Most of the summer. Nice. All right, Chris, what'd you do? Sweet. Vacation or family, both, or? Academic, what'd you do?
It was a program on
Genetics? Cool. Was it what you expected to be? How was it?
It was,
William, stay here. How was Canton? The weather was exceptionally nice. I was here for like 3 weeks. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Soon as school ended and all your teachers left, the weather got really nice. Hey, Kai, what'd you do? Did you? No. Hang out with any other people you know? Burn? Yeah? What'd you do? Cool. You got family there or just Stan the man? How long were you there? Sweet. How was that? Did you? Suck on a point. In your face. Cool. So no deaths or everybody's all right? You good with that? You have it, but are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Have you pulled the car out in Guangzhou yet? Is that going to happen? I might be giving you a call. I get stranded a lot. Can't find cabs. Don't stand. AISG Uber. Criddle. What'd you do, Criddle? You just shook your head and was like, good. You're not getting graded on this. You can literally say anything. Did you see Martin Laus there? Mhm. All right. He's teaching that course, I'm pretty sure. All right. Laura, what'd you do? Lauren. All right. We'll leave it at that. How was that? Good? Did you say no? It's fine. Write your journal. There was a restaurant near the place I stayed with, someone called Sahil. Every day it's pretty dodgy too. First I was like, man, that place looks really closed and dirty. And then like at lunch, it was like, it's packed. Cheap, scary Indian food. Sahil. Take a couple photos. Yeah. All right. Homework. This is homework. Submit. Grade 12, standard submission form, interaction with chapter. You were supposed to just browse, read, look at the pictures of mouse. You're supposed to interact with 1 minute point zero. So some of you, when you take your notes, are kind of definitive about chapters. If you're not, I'm okay with that. So let's just say the last chapter. That's all I want. Towards the end of the book, whatever notes. So if those are your notes, it's the last bit of your notes.
The last chapter.
1 minute point zero. Towards the end. I just want the end bit of your notes. That way you really know where you're at. I just want the last bit. And if you do that, which I knew some of you did, I'll come by and I'll look at them. It'll be pretty easy. Just go to the back. You have 120 seconds. Let me see that awesome. Are you taking those all in your actual?
So now my computer is
Yes, no.
You're all going to do the same time. Your imaging things. Anything else with PDF and or physical handwritten notes? Otherwise, copy and paste, so the grade 11 Spanish submission form, I'll finish the title, it's the same one from last year. You now have 45 sections.
Everyone hated you in summer, so like now
Maybe
they're
everyone shut off if they're good.
We need to get the best.
You were laying on a beautiful beach,
Or if it's
sipping
down,
some adult drink,
laying down
and your parents asking why you're crying.
Yeah.
What oh God, there's that book you're reading. I'm sorry. Probably wasn't the most uplifting summary.
But, 127 pages, so much we can do with this. Towards the end, you just have to physically say, I will take notes in this chapter, and that's what if you just have some sort of a amorphous notes, if you don't distinguish between chapters, I'm fine with that. Just give me the notes towards the end. Copy, paste, you got about 20 seconds.
It was really fun.
Mouth tall.
I like 1.01.
Huh?
Comics are like harsh and annoying.
You don't like this?
It's like this one. Yeah, I really like this one. Something about comics. Like,
It's all right.
but I still read it. Okay.
That being said, that might be the one you don't choose to do a whole lot with. But just because we might not have thoroughly been into it doesn't mean we couldn't get some massive points off some assessments based off that text. Summative assessment, which some of you have already submitted. I need PDF. If it's a video, then I want a PDF and a link to that video on SP Media. Some of you already submitted this. That's the link. It's on Moodle. Don't forget all these assessment submission drop boxes are in the current unit. Right now, we're really focusing on 1.0. I know we have 3 different works that we'll be talking about in the next month, but currently any sort of submission stuff will be in that 1.0. So now we group our faces at the top, go to the direct link. We're now using 12 links, Etherpad 12 links, by the way, if you want to get stuff off that as well. .5 IB results, which is interesting. Yeah, not to make comparisons because obviously that doesn't work, never works that way. Okay, there's 2 major factors. One, all the stuff we do in class, yes. All the stuff we do in class will only be a little bit better than the guys from last year. Simply because now we're doing it multiple times. It's the same business. Now we've learned a little bit about what might be a better choice or some sort of vehicle or some sort of option. We're looking at these texts. Also the examiner. We don't know who grades these things. And we all can sort of agree upon, you should have agreed upon, even if somebody's an examiner, the IB rubric's always a little bit gray. We're looking at it for many, many years and it's still like, okay, I feel very confident what that rubric's supposed to do, but I can completely understand how 2 people who feel very confident about that rubric might be a little bit off in terms of points, be higher or lower. You're also religion.
Our whole advice.
Who else?
Philip.
Thanks. Probably okay today. Not your fault. So the grades came back. The other thing is, not to make comparisons, but on a social, psychosomatic, pedagogical term, that last group, very, I don't get overly vernacular level, they're just a bunch of dumb-dumbs, those guys are just graduated. So basically, if they did well, you guys are really going to do well, because they are, I think that that's called dumb-dumb. Can't compare 2 groups of kids. They did well. We'll look. Doesn't matter. We'll show. We'll have a look. Just percentiles. HL, no SL. 17% maximum points, more or less maximum points. 61% out of 6. No 4s. I had some predicted 4s. No 4s. So they did quite well with paper 1, paper 2, which was obviously 50% of their final grade. So what does that mean for us? Not a whole lot, except maybe our part 3 text served them well, which is going to sort of segue. You said I don't like that one. I'm sure I had a couple of kids who might not have been super fans of one text or the other, but chose to write about them in the exam because the prescribed questions they got on paper 2, based on the text you read for part 3, at least 2 texts. Choose one of the following 6 questions, and one of those questions really worked with those texts. So maybe it wasn't the one they would have, continued to read on their own or suggested that their children read 28 years down the road, but they really might have worked with one of those questions, and that's why their grades are pretty high. Yay. This number right here is just kind of nuts. 60% of kids got a 6. A 6 is high in HL English. So, way to go, dum-dums. Well, not dum-dums, they're actually, you know them. You know I'm being facetious. They're cross-section wise, fairly smart group.
Were most of your predicts right?
What's that?
Were most of your predictions right?
They were, I got some percentiles. Yes. If they were off, they were only 1, and I'm a little bit lower. I'm a little more conservative. So I predicted a couple of 4s, and they pulled out 5s, low 5s, but they got 5s. And I predicted 1 7, they got a very high 6. Predicted a number of 5s, and they got some 6s, which is great. I'd rather be low than high, which means they did really well with the exam. It's tough. We have semester exams, which is only 50% of what that final thing is. This time we can do a paper 1, next time we do a paper 2, we'll have some feedback. I honestly think, and this is going to affect us this year, pay attention. A couple of those kids, which I was extremely excited they got 7s, I didn't expect them to get 7s. I think they might have got a 7s because we spent some serious time on that paper 2 stuff and the paper 1 stuff. You're a big group in terms of both the classes, but with every single one of those guys, when they took that exam, we sat back, they came in, we scheduled a time, and we sat down for like 15, 20 minutes and went over it. Instead of me just writing stuff on there and them figuring it out, we physically went through it together. I think that might have affected how they approach their final exams. I hope. We took some class time away to do that individual stuff. It was a lot of work, but I think it paid off. So what we will do and we've kind of done this with some Duffy, we will assign some group presentations for enrollment at point 0. That IBTL, there's a new group we started with the whole school, and you're going to get this a lot from a lot of your teachers, is this OneDrive thing, which seems to be working well. There's a whole bunch of stuff in this OneDrive. Most of you have gotten an email which says you're in a group. If you open that group, and I'm sure most of you have kind of figured this out. If you haven't, it can be confusing, so no big deal. Super patient, both of us. Our group, it's called Ivy Thug Life. There's documents in there. There's not a whole lot of documents. You should have access to those documents. You should be able to manipulate and edit those documents. Hopefully we can. See if you can't click on your groups, which is in your email at the bottom left. When you click on that, you should get a bunch of stuff, which looks like a sort of email feed. At the top, there's a 3 little button thing. And when you click on that 3 little dot button business, you get a couple of options. And the one we're looking at is files. I know some of you, it'll make sense real quick. I don't like the way the Outlook works. I don't like the lack of intuitiveness with it. You click on something, all these other stuff disappear. It'll take me a while to be quick with it. I'm not a huge fan. So if it's taking you a while, you're not alone. So we're on a document called Literary In-Class Presentations. It's an online Word document. If you don't have a computer, you're going to have to ask somebody else to help you out. And since most of the stuff we're doing today is going to be collaborative, we won't do a whole lot of, except maybe just sign up. Also, apparently we have 300% bandwidth increase this year. That's what I heard. I know it's true. My computer is working a little slower than it was in June. But technically, how much our school can be online at the same time. Anybody found that document? Raise your hand. Yes. Are you on that document? Brian, can you type on that document? The one entitled WAPZ 1.0 Literary In-Class Presentations. You might have to click at the top, edit in online Word. It says Poe and Go is editing this document. So I'm going to slide this over real quick. What you'll see here is there are 9 categories, subjects, whatever you want to call these. We're going to do a first come, first serve. I know there's only 18. There's probably going to be 19 of you in here. I'm not too concerned about that, which it might be a group of 3. And that might just put Mari and friends in there. So it is first come, first serve. You got to click on that little pencil thing at the top, which says edit in online. Make sure you click the online. In all sincerity, they don't really matter. I wouldn't say too many are more difficult than the others. Some of the longer written ones might actually be easier than just the 2-word ones. Don't assume longer means it's more complicated, or vice versa.
What did you do this summer?
I went to France. Yeah. Because I could have a direct flight with my dog from Guangzhou in a nice French airport. My dog and I went to France. She went to Ecuador the whole time. Umi and I went to France. We were there for about a little over a month.
I made my sister.
How was your sister?
Just pick one.
Just pick one.
All right.
So,
Wait, where did you?
No, do that one. Do that one.
so obviously column 2 is the person you're working with. So Philip and Brian will be under Warren Howard. Those figure out to truly attain a level of power. To understand these, we'll go over what these should look like and how long. Not a whole lot of information on there. So you might want to take some notes. Given the fact that HL year 2, it should be I would say obvious, but we know these aren't 30-second. Yeah. This is my best friend. Not that you would do this, but in terms of the whole. Power, does figure out the same level of power. Yes. So you're going to have to refer to the text extensively. That's probably the only details on that document. Site examples, that sort of thing. All this stuff should allow us to do a couple of things. Generate some really decent ideas for maybe an FOA, which could be creative, but probably non-creative. More so, some of these questions sound like prescribed questions from written task 2. And we already know that written task 2 emulates or works really well with our paper 2 final exam. So going back to the confusion, which is doing a lot of things at once, this text, 1.0, will be on your final exam in April. Or is it May? Getting ready, April. All right. Everybody is on there somewhere. It might just say Mari, 3 names. Perfect. Okay. Now, So what we want for all these presentations are the 3 of you, or the 2 of you, I should say, for the most part, will have some kind of online PowerPoint. That'll be shared with me and probably everybody else. In theory, you could go ahead and create that in that folder in there. Don't have to. You can start it in your OneDrive and share the editing privileges with the other person or people in your group. I'll already have that the day of your presentation. You'll come up here, I'll present, so we don't have to, you don't have to plug in. I'll just already have it plugged in. I'll just open up your presentation, so it's online. You must extensively refer to the text. Now, note, start now. These names are confusing. So, Balubi and Bagubba and the other horrible rapey guy. You can't say stuff like that. You need to know their names. And I'd say, oh, great idea. Don't worry about his name in class. But what happens is later on, you've never learned their names, or you've always learned them wrong. And so on your exam, we don't need to say the creepy, rapey uncle, perv, pedo fellow. You need to know his name. Yeah, so if you don't know him now, I'm okay with that. We all have an idea who these characters are and what they've done, but you need to know their names. I need an outline. That outline will go on the presentation. This outline will read like a written task 2 outline. So you already have a question, Brian. Yours is, does she truly attain a level of power, more or less paraphrasing? You will say, we will answer this in the following ways. We will demonstrate that she does through this, she does through that, or she does not, or due to this and that and that. And that's going to be the sort of bullet point 3 or 4, just like a written task 2 outline of what we'll see during a presentation. The whole thing shouldn't go more than 10 minutes. If there's 3 of you, it might go a little bit more than that. But let's keep it close to 10, no more than 10. Good. So we got 9 groups, 9 topics. Here's the order of which we will go. I just want you to open up. I just want you to open up. Open up. First group will go on Tuesday. We don't know yet. About to find out who our first group is. Tuesday, day 1. And 3, 2, 1. So your topic's numbered. Obviously, your name's next to your topic. That's yours. Ooh, look at that. Actually came out in perfect. It's not too random. There we go. So 7, 6, 2, 4. Brian's going 6. What day that is? We'll probably do one every day. So if we're starting on Tuesday, we got a day 1, day 3 thing going on. You can do the math. So who has the 7th topic? Look on this. You guys, on Tuesday, Thursday. So we got those 2 days literally out of the way. We can assume that the next week there will be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which will be group or topic 2, topic 4, topic 8.
What's yours next? I got next week. What is next week? Next Thursday.
So now we know.
Your question number 9. So thank you for the Seventh, right?
So, obviously, with any other bit of lit, we like this lady. Listen closely. She's awesome. So we'll watch some external supplemental bits and pieces about her. Because the fantastic thing is, in terms of what we have to do to produce our understanding of this work, she's still alive. And yeah, any sort of artistic endeavor we can interpret on our own basis, and that's perfectly acceptable. But having some sort of deeper prior knowledge about what she's about and what she stands for will and do allow us to have a better understanding of the work of Lit. So we'll watch a number of interviews. I'll ask you, and they'll be on SP Media, to go ahead at some point in time in the future to watch a couple of lectures. A couple are a little long, but I think they're well worth it. She's fantastic. She's charismatic. She's cool. She's funny. And she's pretty brilliant. So small things. 1955, University of Cairo. Yes, you do know she's Egyptian. She's written over 30 works between novels and short stories. It goes without saying she's a politically active feminist. Which, okay, feminist, we have that weird term, or if you want to call it that. We definitely use this term, at least feminist. We associate Angela Carter as being a feminist. But a lot of you continuously use, and I agree with it on many levels, that sort of subversive feminist. This lady is a classic sort of points, bullet points. This is what's going on, supported with socioeconomic, sociopolitical justifications. She's extremely well studied, and she's very, very proactive and to the point. This novel's to the point. It's not like, okay, maybe this is wrong. It's not like Carter's weird multiple interpretations, almost surreal-like. This is very explicit. It's graphic. She ran for president, which is pretty cool for any human being. She didn't win, obviously, but she did run. She's co-founder of the Arab Association for Human Rights. So, feminist, humanitarian, politically active. Literally politically active. Secretary General of the Medical Association, which is sort of equivalent to many countries' Minister of Health. So she was the highest sort of politically appointed position for the medical field or health in Egypt at one point in time. Director General of Health Education Department, kind of the same level or lines as the Secretary General of Medical Association. The novel, concepts, socioeconomic class. So there's a money thing going on in the text. And we have this sort of term called the dregs of society, the lowest of the low. We see this concept, this concept exists anywhere. But I think it's more explicit in places where you have extreme poverty or a greater division of wealth. In Egypt, a lot of the haves not, and a very small amount of the haves. I don't know what it was, but it was good. You go away. Gender roles, we know that already. Women's social and political tool. So that, dehumanization, subjugation of women, a lot of these words we know. You know them from other courses, you know them from other subjects, if you will. And obviously we've dealt with them already. If not Conrad, potentially Carter. Patriarchal society, where men rule. Misogyny, that's how you spell that. It's not a soup, Marty. Hatred of females. Post-colonial or post-colonialism. And these last two are really two. Human trafficking is one, martyrdom is another. We can call these themes. So already in terms of maybe some prescribed question business, they're already there. You know, women, how are social groups represented in the text and why? Got those who have money, those who do not. Could even focus on men. How are they portrayed? The fact that our protagonist is a female and our author is a female has a lot to do in terms of characterization and how we interpret these people. Survival, shattered hopes, betrayal, self-determination, liberty, orphaning, birth, and rebirth. Who picked the eye motif? Okay. Don't. Careful with the external resources on that. That one's just, I mean, some of you are like, oh, I don't know what that is, but some of you are like, oh, that's got to be something. And I know there's stuff out there to help me with that. Obviously, it's a big part of this work is that eye motif and what that really does. Some really cool written task ones can be done with that. Anybody choose this as an assessment? Sahil, you did, correct? Anybody, as you're reading this, you didn't have to, but somebody like, oh, wow, I could do a lot with this, or maybe generated something came into your head while reading this in terms of what you could do in terms of a creative piece. There's a ton of stuff. It's ripe. It's a very good text for either an FOA or written task one. Some of it repeats, some of it we know, if not, write it down and get it. Betroth, pander, patriarch, matriarch. One time, this teacher, his name's Mr. McGartland, he had some kind of IB history class, and the kids had to make these sort of posters. And this one girl, her name was, I don't know her name. I don't know. She had to do a poster over propaganda, and she wrote propaganda. not even pander, just like literally like the mammal, and being, I guess, being in favor of those animals. Propaganda. That's just pro-panda propaganda. That's what that is. They're just big raccoons. That ain't bears. Pander. What pander means? From a literary work, I believe, Troilus and Cressidas, maybe. It kind of has a reference to sort of pimping and this sort of pawning people off in a very horrific way. Pawn usually has a negative connotation in order for self-gain. So using other people, selling them their worth on some level, could be in a physical sense, which goes back to that human trafficking bit. Betroth means, and we've had this term in another work we've read in grade 10, if I'm not mistaken. It means selling somebody off via marriage. It's obviously a predetermined marriage, and there's some exchange of money. which is a very traditional, archaic concept. It should be too foreign. It should be scary if that's too foreign. All right. Anybody have an FOA someplace? No? Nobody had an FOA this time? All right. Won't be any presentations today. That last bit, which isn't, here it is. Sorry, here we go. Woman applying zero prior knowledge. In that same folder, there's an online PowerPoint. Literally, it's a PowerPoint. This is the title, WAPZ prior knowledge. Find that guy. So this isn't any sort of analytical anything. This is just some basically a grade 8 research business. You will need to click on some kind of pencil icon at the top which says Edit in Online PowerPoint. You'll notice there's 3 members per group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So definitely covering our 19 members in here. One of you might be working by yourself. We might have maybe do the math, a couple groups of 2. Pick a topic, pick a buddy or buddies. Be inclusive.
Wait, they can see. It's not fine. Why can't they see? Yes.
Somebody's on there. Yes. Go ahead, put everybody's name on there as well.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
laggy.
It might be like
That's all.
I feel like we just here like 2 days ago. It doesn't seem that there was a summer, which isn't a bad thing. Jump right into it.
Why did both the books you gave us like over summer so interesting?
Yeah.
Why did you do that? It made me like it happy.
I don't know. That's what literature does. They have to have some massive conflict.
It is like actually all the
It
books
gives you a lot
I
to
read-
talk about.
I know.
I know. I can't think of any other books like that I have.
Yeah, they were doing.
Are we doing both?
Stanley. So, with the collaborative documents, be nice for grade 12. You don't want to. That's what I'm saying. You don't want to be in grade 12? See, it's either I want to be in grade 13 immediately, or I just don't want to leave. Everyone want to leave this place.
I want to go to college. I want to college so bad.
You'd be like 26-year-old Steve kid. Sorry.
I mean, we're gonna be like what are those called? Like,
Now,
look after the
have a look at the second slide in the presentation. You can add, and I want you to add as many slides as you need. So what will happen, you can write the text or the information, the content someplace else. The 3 of you could be doing this someplace else if this is too laggy. Does that work? Using it.
Is it not a word?
You came up with this word, which is ironic, because
No, it's a word.
you know what's going to happen now, especially in football.
It's okay. Well,
You're having one of those moments. You're being a wacky man. Get out there.
yeah, it actually.
And hustle. All right. We will open this back up. We can all work on this now. We'll talk about when we can have this guy done. And when we view this, your section, which is numbered, so the first thing we'll see will be a couple of slides detailing and giving some information about female genitalia mutilation by, ironically, 3 guys, which doesn't matter. It's not gender specific. Women in Islam, females. It's going to be male, female all day long with Sadali. And once again, just be sort of privy and conscientious of where your slides are. They should be in that same sequence. So the slides towards the end will have, and each of your slides has the title, which lets us know what your subject is, and each of your slides will be templated with the 3 or 2 names at the bottom. Cool. You can start on that right now. Mine's like, damn, why Try to sit with the same people when the re-imaging process happens. So when, if your turn, you can sit back and be like, good job.
It's a majority, when does this class end? It's weird.
10:15.
Yeah, not all those.
Yeah.
Like in the book or?
They don't like.
No, like I said, you can write, you can take notes wherever you need to, but we will all have one presentation. So where you signed up, that'll be the first slide, and then we will go through the bottom. There could be 28 slides on this guy. Which, beyond the whole prior knowledge business, it'll give us some opportunities to work with massive collaborative documents and see if this works.
So in general, not. Make the blank.
No, I need to know about. What's your topic? Alright, so I just want to know that. You can show us finding how that exists in this work. What is lost in terms of literature? As we, what you already know, but
Oh my God.
yes. I'm not concerned about sites and sources on this. I don't care. We're not claiming anything. We're just trying to have a better understanding of the concepts and later a better understanding about it. Chris. No, here's the thing. Great question, Chris. All of these concepts are inherently related to the novel. I don't necessarily need you to justify how post-colonial exists in the novel. If I understand post-colonial, I can make those assumptions myself. It would be a good idea to say this is how it is in the novel, or this is where it
It's highly unethical and
very important one. It's a bunch of racial assumptions about what women. You're speaking like a whole research. I think what you probably are, this is what Scripture really says, is probably what practices are. These are one of those places that there's a lot of practices going on. Predates.
There we go. This one's directly quoted from the Quran. Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa. From where? Oh, from here. Wait, no. I see me. I don't get it. Right. Wait, where? It's right there. Where? Right there.
No, it's right there. That's like camouflage.
There's so much stuff on that.
I know.
Also, everyone, you need to wear
If you happen to miss class, every single minute of every single class for year 2 will be recorded and on the internet.
But like, can we be able to hear it?
Yes.
Never coming in. I didn't even know.
Guys, see, I don't know this anymore. That's less obvious. All on there. All on there. Yeah.
It's really good. It's like not so bad. You start when actually doing it.
All on the internet.
Yeah.
And these things are based except
Although what's funny is that I was at the airport and this family was waiting.
That's an idea.
And the So like, when he was gonna be
Alright,
like,
good.
they're gonna be like,
But we already have to look.
And when you're about to land, everyone just like pulls it out of their bag.
Yeah, they just
Fly with your dog. What? This is my dad said. It's like when you fly in Saudi, on the airplane, like walk in, as soon as they're about to land, everyone's pulling out their scarves.
Even when we can't have their in China.
Big enough to go in a little bag.
I think it's strong enough about
I know. Did you see this?
it's like, you know, this is wars.
Yeah, so go in that immigration room. Because we expect from the ladies out.
And here, the find this is
And that's like
ideal. And then when she touched her, like, so then she that's like very hungry.
It was at the very beginning, right?
So then she just another might be
on the church, it's like,
It was bad because on the data they were doing their they were recording when you went on the road. And everyone was like,
does she like, do you need to die to be a martyr?
oh my god,
How did that
you're
be a
for
martyr?
it. It took us 2 hours to get it. I never like really memorized it.
Did you play KO?
Yeah, we just.
All right.
This presentation is about after.
What's your time? What does that mean? Examples in history.
Oh, just like anything in general, like nothing related to.
Well, obviously they're all related to knowledge. So the point is like with this.
No, I heard another word in Japanese. I heard another word. My uncle
Oh, you know, okay.
Separation of social media.
The wholeness swelling is and strong of power and weight.
Take notes on this person and work in organization.
Yeah, not catchy.
For one of the parts, like she was like, it's more like the dead dog. She would take care of that, and then the woman's happy. don't think we should connect that. I don't know.
No, it's been going.
Now I have one thought in my mind, how we're talking about. One's back.
Yeah.
And are the next go?
I'll go use my upper computer. All I know is that
Yeah.
I'll go to Middle East.
So it's like a huge thing in the ice.
So it gives like a sense of security for
First time, general.
They like compare
As in, like,
It literally stayed in
like,
there.
general,
In the
like,
I think
general
that's
or-
why. Oh my gosh.
What?
now the hours
Is this online? Like, you can create it on your own and then some examples.
Wow.
Next one to be related.
Some things will hold dry, others will rescue all cap. Exuding drops threading slated or white yellow like
Like the first, like,
when the full dried up.
atomic define.
Could be sold without the.
That is
My whole life,
This one is just like actually about like people dying before, and then you like delve into project work on.
It's not great. Born under is not but well dedicated.
And then like objective goal. What you try to achieve.
He would now come back to us. Do
I think what how much I think what's objective is like sit in it and kind of like search for words that make sense.
Religious education.
Yeah.
We're going to objective design.
Yeah, I turned my favorite different. Are you on for it? Not for
And then
I turned my little face like
who's what's the major?
Oh no, I can see it.
For the
We just read like,
what she does.
This is on
her beliefs.
Wait, wasn't there conversations between the uncle and
There she dies rather than giving up her.
one day she could be in a
And the proportion of usually 7%.
Part of
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she
This by you and are allowed to wasn't he the guy
Or using the word warrior maybe just for the or it's, you don't know if she's actually in the end you
because in the beginning she said that when she
Why are
was young,
they
They're like we're
so mean to them?
But they need-
but the title
Wait
fixes
for
it.
Wow.
Or when the husband is not there.
Wait, actually,
It's supposed to be like something with no confidence.
Say beneficial for the
Actually,
family,
oh,
women under.
legal matters.
There's a certain age, the woman under the age, like,
All your dad's saying.
like they're only starting to be like raised when they like are fertile, like when they. But like, so before that, like they don't want you if you're not fertile.
how many
For
topics
title.
are there?
I think
Not yet. So everyone does like 5 slides.
Right. It's like a burden to your parents to have girls over like.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember reading
Yeah.
that.
10 minutes.
Remember just having a dowry, you
Back to the West, what if, but they're,
It's like what the girl's parents decide.
Or no, they usually don't get
It's
it.
in exchange for the girl.
They give a dowry to the man.
Yeah, for like,
Or take the girl.
yeah.
That's, yeah. Sounds
That's
pretty
basically,
horrible.
I mean, if it was once,
Last time
I get that's
Woo!
actually from.
Thanks.
Or why?
it's for
Dowry, DOW.
So we owe the
Water.
no.
Or social.
Or even second.
We owe.
And something else.
Yeah.
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 So like normally
It's like,
Like also say that girls aren't valued when they don't have their
because once you.
because it's
like they have
related
to
to.
right so they're facile.
What if you are like underweight?
It might be related to. Which
Yeah, exactly, then you're no use, like there's your
No use to have
Then-
you
maybe for, then what, how would you describe it? Why right? Or
And that's why, like, yeah, it's like our society.
I'm gonna stick to the blackboard.
All the ones that say that you don't really fit are there's a bunch of people that make because it means that like they
But then
yeah, it's very like it's something like yeah, you're right.
they also.
Oh, it's this one?
Yeah, I need.
No, but this is one percent.
My dad.
Yeah, you don't, women, we have like, I know, and I and often, like, how do you spell B-A-R-A-R? It's very hard.
I think of something like,
Very, very, like,
she'd rather die for like a client than not for something else like that.
Got about 7 minutes here before the bell rings. So for Friday, don't worry about this guy. If you want to continue to finish this up, you can. There will be class time to finish this up. Most of you, depending which one you picked, are getting somewhere. I'm okay with that. On an individual level for Friday, that link there works. You can get off 12 links as well. It's in the mouse section of the Moodle. There's it's called T Spiegelman text. It looks something like this. Just pick one. So, and I'll open this guy up. Wait, was it there? Where'd it go? There it is. So it's a presentation. There are a number of texts in here. He did a series, if you want to call it that, of covers for the publication, The New Yorker. Pick one of these, analyze it in terms of it being essentially a non-text-based text. So it could be associated with a number of topics from part one, maybe even part two, because it is essentially mass communication as it being a cover of a periodical. Look at it in terms of culture and context, gender roles, conflict in nature. This one is fairly obvious. Come back with some sort of thesis statement. It doesn't have to be overtly long. On Friday, you will submit your interaction with one of these texts. Two of you will stand up here and give a mini oral commentary. So obviously, if your notes aren't super extensive, the commentary won't be more than like 4 minutes. But everybody should have a commentary thesis. So in his cover for the New Yorker, Art Spiegelman incorporates, utilizes, et cetera, in this situation in order to comment upon, exemplify, juxtapose, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Refer to the text, justify where that stuff is. I don't know why this doesn't want to work. It does work.
Where do
show you the exact link here. My page is first. You can get it from 12 links. You can get it off the homework page. You can get it from the mouse section of Moodle. It's all there. All right. Yay, first day back, year 2.
It's actually so much.
Should be smooth. Some of you are concerned about extended essays. Otherwise, you'd be like, man, if I didn't have that, I'd be like, awesome. We got some stuff to do this year, but we're going to get it done and get it done well. There we go. So just pick the one. They're all really fun. I love that one. Absolutely love it. Mom. This one's super cool. I had a kid do an FOA on one of these last year. It was okay. It was pretty good. Oh, that's awesome. Some are fairly straightforward, which might be a good thing, might not be a good thing. Let's break out the rusty literary and analytical jargon. You might not get this one. This one has some, I mean, it works, but there's some also rather specific New York, I'm afraid, cultural context and ramifications with this. We have a new student grade pro, don't we? 3.
Yeah.
New students in grade 12.
I don't know.
I think I have one next class.
There's Sammy and there's 2 other age.
I don't know if there's one.
Record, like 3 new students.
Yeah, because they weren't there for the orientation. We didn't have this.
Oh, well.
Cool.
Wow. Her name is mystical.
I call her Sammy.
I call her Sammy too, but sometimes like you need Sam.
No.
Call her Sam.
Sammy. It's yeah.
Sam, Fam.
Sammy's IE.
Sam, the Flim Flam woman. No? All right.
Did the girl from SFS come?
I hope so.
I don't think so. I honestly don't think so.
I don't think so either. You would have seen her there.
Big red.
The headgear, I mean, walking down the hall. Yeah.
So she doesn't have any more.
No.
Really?
The screw into it, can't take it off.
That's so unfortunate.
Her skull is still soft and it actually.
There is a girl at APEC. She has this massive red helmet on. It's so fun. Yeah, it's good.
And we're not good. And then she hit herself by I'm like, what are you doing?
And there's this other girl, she had a beach towel. She always had to have it in her hands. Show up hand.
I went to the gallery.